All right, ready to dig into something kind of unexpected? We're talking cigarette-making machine operators.
Cigarette-making machine operator.
Yeah, you heard that right. But hang with me. It's not really about the cigarettes.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
It's more about using this, well, surprisingly relevant example to understand the job market these days.
Makes sense, especially with all the AI and automation changing how hiring works.
Exactly. It's like, how do you even navigate that? So we've got excerpts from this career guide, cigarette-making machine operator.
A career guide, huh, for that?
Yep. And we're going to see if this platform, RoleCatcher, actually gives job seekers an edge, like they claim.
Because let's face it, applying for jobs these days can feel like shouting into the void.
Totally. Like sending your resume into a black hole.
Right. A lot of companies use those AI recruiters now, so who even knows if a human looks at your application?
RoleCatcher says they can help cut through that.
Interesting.
But before we get all into that, let's break down this whole cigarette-making machine operator thing.
Yeah, what does that even entail?
Right. So the career guide goes surprisingly in depth. It's not just pushing buttons, you know.
I was just thinking, there's got to be more to it than that.
Way more. They're responsible for the whole process, encasing the tobacco, making sure the cigarettes are rolled right, cut right, even making sure the brands are printed on there correctly.
Wow, that's a lot more involved than I imagined.
Definitely a good amount of technical skill involved with all that machinery.
You need a sharp eye for detail, for sure.
Oh, absolutely. And a good understanding of quality control.
Not to mention, probably a high tolerance for, well, a potentially intense environment.
The guide mentions noise, dust, even potential hazards.
Yeah, you got to be comfortable with all that.
And that's what's interesting. Think of the transferable skills this develops. Focusing amidst chaos, troubleshooting machines.
Maintaining quality under pressure.
Exactly. Those are valuable anywhere, not just in tobacco. Manufacturing, production.
Oh, for sure. And that's where something like RoleCatcher's, what's it called? Align feature comes in, tailors your resume.
Yeah. You could highlight that troubleshooting experience, and boom, hiring managers in different fields would take notice.
Makes you think about your experience differently.
Totally. But how does this RoleCatcher thing even work?
So they break it down into 3 steps. Understand, align, and tailor.
Catchy.
Right. And their whole thing is to beat the AI recruiter. Gotta understand what it's looking for.
Not just sending out your resume a million times, hoping for the best.
Exactly. RoleCatcher digs into the job descriptions, picks out the exact skills needed.
So it's like reverse engineering the system in a way.
Basically.
Can you give an example?
Yeah.
Using the cigarette machine operator stuff.
Okay, so quality control. Huge for that role, right?
Right.
RoleCatcher's AI would see that as valuable not just in, say, factories, but even software development, healthcare, places where precision is key.
Makes sense. But then what? You understand the skills, then what's Align?
So Align is where they help you pick the best version of your resume.
The best. Like what makes it the best?
The one that matches the skills they just identified as most important for that specific job.
Not just a good resume in general.
Right. It's about speaking the AI's language.
Okay.
Then tailor is where you really fine-tune it. Highlight anything that might not be obvious at first glance, like you're presenting the best possible you, but to an algorithm.
Sounds pretty strategic.
It is. And then they even have a get discovered feature. It's kind of like online dating, but for jobs.
Okay.
So instead of you applying to tons of jobs, registered employers can find you based on your skills.
So employers are browsing through people.
Basically, it flips the script.
That's got to be empowering for job seekers.
It is, especially in those niche fields like our cigarette machine operator. Suddenly, all that experience with machinery, managing things, quality control,
Yeah.
it's valued.
It's seen.
Yeah, even if it seems niche, it's given a platform.
Okay, so we've talked about understanding the skills
Mm-hmm.
and then using RoleCatcher to tailor your application for the AI world. But you still got to do the interview, right?
Oh, absolutely. That's where you really sell yourself. And RoleCatcher knows that. It's like instead of AI being this big, scary thing, they're trying to make it human again.
Right. Using technology to actually, like, connect people based on real skills.
Exactly. And speaking of which, we can't forget that interview stage. Even with the perfect resume, you still got to nail that conversation.
You totally. Video call or in person, you got to bring it. So that's where their interview module comes in, right?
Yep. And it's serious. They have over 120,000 practice questions.
Wait, 120,000? That's a lot of questions.
Sounds crazy, but it's organized, I promise. They're sorted by industry, job role, even experience level. So like senior management in manufacturing is going to have different questions than...
Then our cigarette making machine operator.
Exactly. And that's where Knowing the specifics matters, right? Like the career guide talked about quality control being super important for them.
So an interview question might be, tell me about a time you spotted a problem in a complicated system.
There you go. And that skill, that's useful everywhere. Finding bugs in code, catching a mistake on a patient's chart.
It's about understanding the core skill and how it applies in different places.
Exactly.
But it's not just about the questions, is it? RoleCatcher, they give you feedback on your answers too.
Oh, yeah. And that's where the AI gets really cool. It's not just generic stuff. It analyzes how you're talking, your tone.
No way.
Yeah. And
Uh,
gives you tips specific to you, like slow down or make more eye contact.
Like having a personal coach, but AI.
Right. Who's always available. They even want you to record yourself answering so you can see how you come across.
Like reviewing game footage. I love that. But they have even more than that, don't they? The career compass thing.
Oh, yeah. So think of that like a tool to help you figure out this crazy job market.
Okay.
Like, say, our cigarette machine operator. They're feeling stuck or curious about other jobs they could do. Career Compass shows them the possibilities.
So maybe their machinery skills could be used in robotics.
Or their management experience means they could be a supervisor. It connects the dots.
Like a career aptitude test, but it shows you the actual paths.
And gives you steps to get there. Plus, they have a ton of those career guides on tons of jobs.
So you do a deep dive on anything you're curious about.
See the skills, the career path, the salary.
It's about being informed, not just finding a job, but the right job.
Exactly. Taking control. And speaking of control, RoleCatcher is really big on always learning and improving.
Continuous learning, yeah. I'm all about that.
Right.
Got to keep up, right? Especially now. But how does RoleCatcher actually help with that?
So they get that finding a job, it's not the finish line.
Right, it's just the beginning.
Yeah. They've got things built in that push you to learn new skills, see what else is out there, basically how to stay relevant.
So it's not like, okay, you got a job, see ya. It's more like,
It's like a career buddy.
yeah,
Grows with you.
I like that.
They have online courses, industry reports, even connect you with ways to like level up professionally.
Makes me think of our cigarette machine operator. Even in that job, things change, right?
All the time. New machines, new rules.
Exactly.
So they could use RoleCatcher to find a course on automation, maybe, robotics. Who knows what could happen?
Could change careers without even changing companies.
Exactly.
So no matter what your job is, you can use this to take charge.
That's the whole point, and that's huge nowadays. Because being adaptable, being willing to learn new things, that's gold.
More valuable than ever. It's not like the old days where you get a degree and that's it.
Nope. It's all about upskilling, reskilling constantly, and RoleCatcher helps you do that.
So they're basically saying the job market, it's like this wild ride.
And will help you not just survive, but thrive.
Love it. And it's not just good for the job seeker, right? The companies benefit too.
Totally. Think about it. A bunch of employees who are always learning, always improving.
You're going to be ahead of the game.
Exactly. And that's what RoleCatcher's all about. Connecting people with their potential, even as things change so fast.
Yeah. So from cigarette making machine operators to, well, all of us really, it seems like the key takeaway is don't be afraid to learn, to grow, to adapt. The job market might be automated, but your future, that's up to you.